That's some strong coffee. Which takes me back a few decades. It's the mid-1990s. I don't recall if it was before or after reflagging. I came to a unit in Schweinfurt, Germany called 2nd Battalion, 15th Infantry. While I was there, we reflagged to 1st Battalion, 26th Infantry, Blue Spaders. I don't recall if it was before or after the reflagging. The commander at the time is Lieutenant Colonel Robin Swan. Tall fellow. Can be intimidating. Actually turned out to be very approachable, very nice guy, but you know, if you didn't know him, he was intimidating. So in garrison, I am the battalion schools NCO, and in the field, in tactical situations, I am one of 2 Buck Sergeant TOC, Tactical Operations Center, NCOICs. So in the field, I shared the Tactical Operations Center operations with another Buck Sergeant. What was that guy's name? Brian. Sergeant Lewis, I think. God, it's been a long time. So I had the overnight shift, and Sergeant Lewis, if I got the name right, he's got the day shift. So it's early in the morning, and you know, I try to be a nice guy, and I try to give the E4 and below a break, and I volunteer to make the coffee. One of these big silver bullet kinds, the kind you see in church basements. So I made the coffee. Got the portions a little bit off, the coffee grounds versus the amount of water. Well, bright and early and punctual comes in my relief. He pours himself a cup of coffee, and with a grimace of pain on his face, he asks, "Who made the coffee?" And all the privates and specialists point at me, Sergeant Nolan. He shook his head. And then the S3 NCOIC, our enlisted boss, he walks in. I don't remember his name either. Sergeant First Class, was it Atkins? I don't know. Anyway, he comes in, he pours a cup of coffee, he takes a sip. Who made the coffee? Sergeant Lewis and all the specialists and the E3 and below, they all point at Sergeant Nolan. And Sergeant First Class shakes his head and says, "Nolan, I don't want you making any more coffee while you're in the S3 shop." Okay. I can live with that. Well, in the morning they had the briefings. The battalion, all the company commanders, usually they're executive officers, sometimes they're first sergeants. Battalion S shops, 1, 2, 3, and 4. They'd all gather for the briefing for that day. And as each person piled in, as a regular crowd shuffles in, they'd pour a cup of coffee, they'd grimace with pain, and they'd ask, "Who made the effing coffee?" And everybody would point at me. It grew exponentially, all the pointing. And then finally the big man walks in. "Attention! Lieutenant Colonel Robin P. Swan, Battalion Commander. About 6'13", if I remember." He comes in, pours a cup of coffee, takes a sip. He had an interesting way of approaching situations. He'd start out with a long, drawn-out, "Oh." You knew that something was about to be evolved when Colonel Swan said, "Oh." So he took a sip of coffee. No expression change on his face whatsoever. Who made the coffee? And in cadence and in unison, everybody in the TOC pointed at Sergeant Nolan. Lieutenant Colonel Swan takes a second sip. Sergeant Nolan, I want you to make the coffee the rest of this training program. I didn't look around, but I think everyone frowned.